is yours. All right. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to tonight's meeting of the City Board of Directors on this hot and steamy Tuesday evening, September 20th. This is the 18th meeting of the Board of Directors during this year of 2022, and we welcome each and every one of you. We'll begin with our invocation by Corey Cangelosi, and I'll lead the pledge. All rise.
Thank you for having me. Let's pray together. Father God, we thank you for this evening. We get to come and exercise the rights and responsibilities you've given us in this nation to lead, to make decisions, Father, to represent this community. And I just lift up this board to you, Father. I lift up our mayor, Pat McCabe. Father, we lift up Director Aaron Holliday, Director Elaine Jones, Director Marcia Dobbs-Smith, Father, Director Carol Weatherford, Director Karen Garcia, and Director Steve Trusty. Lord, our city manager, our city attorney, all of our officials who are guiding this city. God, we thank you for their service. We thank you for their time and their sacrifice on behalf of the citizens of the city and all those that are impacted around the city. Lord, we pray for wisdom tonight as they lead and as they exercise the authority that they've been given. And we believe it's been given by you, Lord, as you're sovereign over all things. And so we just pray you give them wisdom to lead and serve and do the work that they've been given tonight as unto the Lord, as for your glory and for the good of this city and this people, that we might be a city on a hill, an example in this entire state and in our nation. Lord, so thank you for our city. Thank you for our leadership. And would you bless them in Jesus' name? Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now call this meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Director Aaron Holliday.
Here.
Director Elaine Jones. Director Marcia Dobbs-Smith.
Here.
Director Carol Weatherford.
Here.
Director Karen Garcia.
Here.
Director Steve Trusty.
Here.
Mayor Pat McCabe.
Here. Just a little information. We got our city manager, Bill Burrow. He's on Zoom today, sitting in Bill's seat to my right, your left, is Deputy City Manager Denny McFate, and to his right, and to your left again from Denny, is Deputy City Clerk Lee Leverton. And I'm going to apologize if I call you by the wrong name today, given we generally haven't had at least two of you changing seats. But Bill, welcome via Zoom. At this
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. At this time, we'll consider approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda as presented? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor.
Director Garcia, Director
Second.
Trustee is the second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Minutes are approved. Our agenda is approved. Was it agenda? What did I do?
Agenda.
Yes,
Agenda.
agenda.
Thank you. Now we'll consider the approval of the minutes of the regularly held meeting of September 6, 2022. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to those minutes as presented? Director Trustee made the motion,
Motion to approve.
Second.
and Director Garcia made the second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Recognition of guests. We have Miss Sarah Richardson from the Literacy Council. She's the Executive Director. We did a proclamation about a month ago, and she was unable to attend, but we wanted Sarah to come and tell us a little bit, provide us an update on the Literacy Council. I know
Yes.
COVID has kind of impacted you over the last couple years, and I know you're off and running. So
A little, but we, since 2019, which would cover the pandemic, we've had about a 450% increase in students served, and that's still climbing. The Literacy Council's been a part of Hot Springs and Garland County since 1983, and recently really had a lot of great opportunities to better serve our community, and that's included increasing our enrollment significantly. And the biggest increase in enrollment we have seen in the last 2 years is computer skills, which has become completely prohibitive to employment if you can't fill out even just an online background check. Regardless of if your job requires a computer at all, you've got to do that part online. And so that has been a service we've been able to offer the community. And then our English as a second language learners, that group has increased in enrollment, but the statistics still sit at about 20% of Garland County are below roughly a third grade reading level, which has detrimental impact across the county. And so our big push this year is to better serve the rural parts of the county. We're accessible by public transportation where we are, or where students can meet. And so we're trying to get closer to where people are in the coming year. And we appreciate the city recognizing the importance of literacy in our community and the need for services from birth to death for people to improve their literacy and their English skills. And so I appreciate a little bit of time to share about us. So.
Do anybody have any questions for Sarah? Well, thank you
Thanks
very
so
much,
much.
and thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
We have a proclamation that we're going to read and present, and to recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month. And I asked Romeo Lopez to come forward, and Director Garcia to read that proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. And we're honored to have Romeo Lopez here to receive this evening. If you recall, earlier this year, he was recognized by the Greater Hot Springs Chamber of Commerce of the Rising Star of the Year. And we appreciate all he does in his community and for Habitat for Humanity. And the proclamation honoring the achievements of Hispanics in Hot Springs. Whereas throughout history, our city has been enriched by the storied past of all who call Hot Springs home. America's Hispanic community has woven unique threads into the diverse fabric of our city and played an essential role in shaping our character as a people of limitless possibility. This month, let us honor their distinct heritage while reaffirming our commitment to enabling them to build a future bright with hope and opportunity for themselves, their families, and the city and country we love. And whereas Hispanics contribute to our nation's success in extraordinary ways, they strengthen the economy, serve in the military and government, attend schools across our community. They are the father who works 2 jobs to give his children a better life, the mother who ventures out to take a risk and start a business. They are the student, often the first in their family to go to college, who pursues their greatest aspirations throughout higher education. They are lawful permanent residents who seek to naturalize and become citizens, and the business leader whose loved ones have lived in the United States for generations. Each day, we see the tremendous impact they have on our communities, and they reflect an enduring truth at the heart of our nation. No matter where you come from or where your roots are, with hard work and perseverance, you can make it in America. And whereas our shared ideals bind us as a city, the Hot Springs Hispanic community has the same dreams, values, trials, and triumphs of people in every corner of our city. And they show the same grit and determination that have carried Hot Springs community as a whole forward for centuries. And whereas the latest census data reflects a significant increase in the Hispanic population of Hot Springs, Arkansas, during his National Hispanic Heritage Month, let us renew our commitment to honoring the invaluable ways Hispanics contribute to our common goals, celebrating Hispanic culture, and working towards a stronger, more inclusive, and more prosperous society for all. Now, therefore, has Pat McCabe, the mayor of the city of Hot Springs, and on behalf of the Board of Directors does proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2022 as Hispanic Heritage Month. And it's the mayor's privilege to present this to Romeo Lopez.
Thank you, Director Garcia, Mayor Pat, and the board. It is an honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of the Latino community here in Hot Springs. And thank you. I didn't write a speech, but thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll hear via Zoom our city manager for the city manager's report. Bill?
Thank you, Mayor. Want to thank Denny McFate for being steadfast in the couple of days I've been out. We'll be back in the office on Thursday morning. We have several major projects underway. We are happy to announce that representatives from both Walker Consultants as well as Camaros were in town this past week, working on two major projects that we're embarking on. Of course, the Downtown Business District parking project, and then updating our development code. For downtown parking projects, the consultants held several stakeholder meetings and verified the parking inventory, mobility options, and regulatory signs this past week. And then moving over to our development code, or what we're calling Code 4. This will be a 20-month effort where the city will take a hard look at our adopted development regulations to assess their effectiveness in moving Hot Springs toward the vision and goals of the Forward Hot Springs 2040 plan, which is our city's comprehensive plan. Critical to Code 4's success will be how well we identify and then modify the regulatory barriers that have evolved over past decades. It's been decades since this particular code has been updated. Assessment is the first phase and will include one-on-one interviews with public, private sector development code users, and public comments sessions primarily via Zoom. Camaros principals Arista, Chris, and Daniel, they visited Hot Springs for an intensive existing land use analysis last week. They've also had the opportunity to meet with our development review committee to hear directly what is and isn't working so well. Stakeholder meetings will also be scheduled over the next month. We will set up a web page to keep everyone up to date on upcoming events, progress, and opportunities to participate. And hopefully we'll have a large group that's able to have input on this new development code update. I want to talk a little bit about our water supply project. We continue to make good progress there. Our contract number 2 for the raw water line, Belt Construction, has been taking delivery of the 42-inch welded steel pipe. They're currently stringing that along the route around the Northmore Road area. They're also clearing and grubbing. They have crews that have moved up to the second section of that contract, which is near Cozy Acres Road and Treasure Isle Road. The raw water contract number 3, we have McKee Utility Contractors working on that project. The only thing they like is boring under 270 West and then restoration of the route, and this should be complete as soon as those two functions are complete. Contract number 4, which is the big lake crossings, that's a $14 million project. Michaels is under contract at this time, and they're in the engineering design phase. That particular contract is a design build, so we know exactly what that number is going to be. There won't be any kind of change orders on that. It is a design build. Finally, we have raw water contract number 5. KJAX have pretty much completed this. They only have some flushing and then testing, and this contract will be complete. Then moving on to the clear water treatment plant. The Clearwell, we've had Nat Gunn working on that project. They finished the foundation. This was a overnight concrete pour. 554 cubic yards of concrete, as well as the interior baffle walls are currently being installed. Really, if you have interest in this project, go to our website and take a look at the construction camera. It's really something to see this wet well, clear well coming together with the way they baffled the walls on the inside of that. The water treatment plant, Crow Group, is currently putting together all the legal documents. I think our city attorney has been working with them. We should sign that contract this week, and a pre-construction meeting is scheduled very soon. The intake, Michaels continues to tunnel into Blakely Mountain. Currently, they're about 20% complete with the more than 2,600 foot long tunnel. And again, we have a construction camera there if anyone's interested in checking those out. And what that does, it takes a photo every 30 minutes, so you can kind of see a timeline. You're able to drag the cursor back and forth to see a pretty good timeline of that construction on both of those projects. Would like to say a big thank you to Tri-Lakes Ornamental Iron Works, specifically Lee Fields and our Blue Waters and the Fields family for creating and donating a wrought iron butterfly statue and a bench on the Hot Springs Creek Greenway Trail. The butterfly is an impressive 7 feet wide, and it's perched on a 15-foot stand near the garden. Really did a great job on that, and encourage everyone that is in that area to stop down and see the new construction there, the new butterfly there in the butterfly garden. This is just one of many contributions that Mr. Fields and his family has done for the city, and we just appreciate all of their continued generosity. We've had a really nice comment coming in from Tom Arn, who's a resident out on Osprey Drive, who took the time to send a note to our utilities director, Monty Ledbetter, to share how impressed he was with the lift station crew who responded to his residents. They stayed until the job was completed the following morning. It was overnight. Mr. Arn had a career in utilities management and operations, so he wanted to share that he can fully understand and appreciate the often thankless efforts that these gentlemen go through and our utility staff each and every day. He said that Joshua Gray, Jesse McDormand, as well as our welder fabricator and all of our crew members were professional, respectful, and acted as excellent customer-centric ambassadors for the city's utilities department. Those are great emails to receive. These guys, whether it's an all-night job, whether it's 20 degrees outside or 105, they are always there, and they're there to take care of it until the job is complete. We just appreciate our utilities department. And finally, Hope Works. They collected nearly 3.5 tons in August. That's, of course, our homeless project that we're working through the Jackson House with. This crew picked up 346 bags of litter in the month of August, and again, it weighed 3.48 tons. So that project is up, running, and doing well. So with that, Mayor, I'll conclude my report.
Thank you very much. A lot of good stuff happening there. Thank you. We'll hear from individual directors now on announcements of upcoming events. Directors have an upcoming event. Director Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to announce that typically the first week of October for states in the South is when the annual National Night Out takes place for the police departments. And on October 3rd, Monday at 5 o'clock, I'm hosting the Hot Springs Police Department to meet with the neighbors and the area at the event center at Forest Lakes, located at 305 Forest Lakes Boulevard, beginning at 5 p.m. with food, drink, and fellowship. And the National Night Out is a time that relationships between neighbors and law enforcement brings in a sense of community, and it's a great opportunity to bring police and neighbors together under positive circumstances. And I will honor all of our police officers that are able to attend. And if you aren't having a neighborhood National Night Out in your neighborhood, you're welcome to come at October 3rd at 5 o'clock at the event center at Forest Lakes. And if you're interested, the police department can help you form a neighborhood watch and to help you learn who the police officer is that patrols your area. And they are the best police department in the state and in the country, in my opinion. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other announcements from directors? Director Holliday.
I'm actually going to do the daunting task of speaking on behalf of Director Jones, since she isn't here. But this coming Thursday, the Gateway Community Association is hosting a town hall meeting with all of the candidates, the 5 candidates that are running for Director Jones's seat. That's open to anyone in the community, not just individuals from District 2. It's this Thursday, the 22nd at 5:30 at the Webb Community Center at 127 Pleasant Street. So if anyone either in District 2 or anywhere else in the city is interested in what those candidates have to say and meeting who our future director will be in that seat, then come out this Thursday.
Very good. Any other announcements? Hearing none, we'll move on. At this time, we'll consider those items in the consent agenda. These are of more of a routine nature. They do not merit individual discussion. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Director Weatherford, seconded by
Second.
Director Garcia. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved. We have 3 action items under new business. Each are a resolution. So we'll begin with Resolution R-22-145, and ask the city attorney to read by title.
Resolution R-22-145, a resolution accepting a donation of certain real property from Spa Construction Company, Inc. for the future Southwest Trail. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion
So
to adopt.
So moved.
We got a
Second.
A second. All right. Mike Hill will be providing the staff report, Assistant City Engineer.
Good evening. Yes, this resolution is to accept a generous donation from Spa Paving. It's approximately 6 acres along Spring Street. It starts approximately where Mill Creek comes into Spring Street and goes all the way to Vernell. This property will be used in the future for the Southwest Trail, and the Southwest Trail will connect the Hot Springs National Park to the Old River Bridge and Saline River, and then going to the Little Rock Central High School Historic Site, and eventually the Arkansas River Trail System. Is there any questions?
Any questions of Mike on Director Garcia? You look like you're ready.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you, Mayor. And I wanted to make sure I understood this correctly, too. This is a venture that not just Hot Springs, the county, Garland County is involved in. And then
Yes.
you mentioned where it was going. These other locations are involved, Saline County and
And
the-
Pulaski County.
Yes,
Pulaski.
yeah.
It is an agreement between the counties and the cities that are all trying to get
the
this
trail.
large trail system put together.
And I just want to make that clear to the public as well.
Right, so
Thank-
you could travel from Hot Springs and on bike and go all the way to the river system where it eventually will connect.
Thank you. There you go, Mayor. You got a
Well,
new
I know,
ride.
and I've said it many a time before, there will be people who will be driving or riding their bikes. A 100-mile ride is not unheard of, so I had a businessman in town several years ago tell me, he says, "Pat, I think you're right." And I said, "Well, what am I right about?" He says, "People are going to ride from Little Rock to Hot Springs to Little Rock. They're going to have a sandwich, and then they're going to turn around and come back." And so you're going to see a lot of activity. And so a short ride will be from Hot Springs to Benton or Baltic or anywhere in between. And so, yeah, it'll be a major cycling attraction. Plus, you know, it's there for other use too, as far as walkers and rollerblades and skateboards and that. So it'll be a wonderful attraction for all the communities along the way. And early on in these discussions, there were property owners who were looking at how they could serve those individuals who will be using the trails. And so at certain locations, people have said, well, I'm going to create a little bike repair shop here, or I'm going to have a little convenience store here, you know, to serve the people that are along the trail. So utilizing the trail. So it'll be a wonderful addition to Central Arkansas and all the way down here to Hot Springs.
I certainly will.
So thank you, Mike.
And Mayor, if Mike mentioned it, sorry that I missed it, but I wanted to specifically mention Charles Black as the president of SPA Construction, his very generous donation to the city for this purpose.
Yeah, a lot of, some of the, a significant percentage of the Hot Spring, or the Southwest Trail is on Spring Street, and anytime you can get off a road system and just be by yourself, that's an added benefit. Plus, it brings in other features that you don't normally get on a asphalt, shared road with vehicles and trucks. So, yeah, that's an awesome contribution to the city, and they're a great friends of the city. So, thank you. Any discussion? Anybody sign up to speak on this?
No.
Any discussion amongst directors? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Director Holliday,
Aye.
Director Dobbs-Smith,
Aye.
Director Weatherford,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Trustee,
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Resolution is adopted. Our final two action items, unfortunately, are condemnations, and we'll begin with Resolution R-22-146, and I'll call upon the city attorney to read by title.
Resolution R-22-146, a resolution declaring certain structure located at 645 Fifth Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code. That concludes your reading. Mayor, if you would, entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So
So moved.
moved.
Director Dobbs-Smith, seconded by Director
Steve.
Trustee. And the staff report will come from Director of Planning and Development, Ms. Kathy Selman. Welcome.
Thank you. Pleased to be here tonight. This is a single-family structure located in District 3. The property is owned by Wade Nation LLC, based out of Sandy, Utah. The structure received significant damage due to a fire in July of this year. There's extensive roof, walls, and floor damage, as well as broken glass that make this structure a hazard to those entering and also create a danger in the neighborhood. Notices regarding these proceedings were issued to the owner and to the lending agency, First Security Bank, and we have received confirmation that those were received. In addition to the notices by mail, a notice was attached to the structure. This is a property that has been a problem for years, and we recommend your approval of this request.
Any questions of Ms. Selman? No questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
We have three individuals that have signed up to speak on this resolution. I'll first call on Tony Dizenot.
Janet, sir.
Pardon?
Janet, like the girl's name.
Okay, thank you.
So, my name is Tony Janet. My wife and partner is Hillary Janet. We live at 213 Phaedral Point in Hot Springs. We own and personally operate 57 rental units in Hot Springs. We own the 4 houses directly to the north of 645 on 5th Street, next door. This house appears to us as a total loss. It is a physical danger to the neighborhood. Since the fire, our tenants, which include 3 families with small children and a veteran recovering from cancer, have been exposed to this health hazard. We have spent hundreds of dollars on rat and roach abatement with a pest control company and our own staff. The front of the house has become a dump site. Daily, there are non-residents coming and going into the 2 properties. Some of the pictures you saw was of a pink building that's behind this property, but on the same piece of property owned by the same individual. These are the security concerns to our tenants, especially with their children. They are getting reluctant to play in the front yard. And we request that the city take all appropriate action with as much speed as legally possible to rid the neighborhood of this dangerous site. As an aside, the pictures of that pink building, that building needs to be either brought up to code or gotten rid of because it's the same thing, just without the fire. We have undesirables having drug parties in there, nightly issues, police calls. It's just a very big detriment to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Any questions of Tony? Thank you. Our next individual signed up is Thomas Ridley. Please come forward and restate your name, address, and city district, please.
Thomas Ridley, 207 Wall Street, District 2.
Thomas, you want to speak on this?
Well, I was, Mr. Hardis is the one that told me to come down here and talk to y'all about not demolishing my house.
Are you the owner?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Ridley is the owner of the next item.
Oh, not this, okay. You don't own 645 Fifth Street, do you?
No, sir, sure.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Selman. We'll address that here in a minute. Ms. Margaret White? Ms. Margaret White, were you wanting to speak on 645 Fifth Street?
No. The house that I would like to see condemned, that we consider a nuisance, is in the neighborhood of Oaklawn Park Neighborhood Association. It's on the corner
Okay,
of...
well, that's not on the agenda right now.
It's not. I'll
But
bring it up later.
You-
Excuse me.
We'll have a public forum right
Yes.
after, and you can
Yes.
join us
Thank
there
you.
and tell us about that house. Thank you. Okay, so that completes those who have signed up to consider on Resolution R-22-146. Any discussion amongst directors? Hearing none, please call the
Can
roll.
I ask a question, Mayor?
Oh, pardon? Director Garcia?
The pink building that was mentioned, it's not a part of this condemnation?
That's my understanding.
It is?
It is not.
It is not? But is that one being looked at also?
It,
Will you come to the
Yes.
microphone so that
Yes.
the public at home can see you?
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? Discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Director Dobbs Smith,
Aye.
Director Weatherford,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Trusty,
Aye.
Director Holliday,
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Resolution is adopted. Our final action item of the evening is to consider Resolution R-22-147 and ask the city attorney to read by title.
Resolution R-22-147, a resolution declaring certain structure located at 230 Fraser Street a nuisance and condemning same pursuant to Title 17 of the Hot Springs Code. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you would entertain a motion second to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Director Garcia, seconded by
Second.
Director Holliday.
Holiday.
And we'll have our staff report by Director of Planning and Development, Ms. Selman.
Thank you. This is a single-family residence at 230 Fraser, located in District Number 2. It is owned by Mr. Thomas Ridley of Hot Springs. Neighborhood Services has had a file on this property requesting compliance dating back to 1998. Issues that create a danger to the neighborhood include sunken and separating foundation walls and exterior walls that are blown out away from the structure, damaged roofing, missing siding, and broken glass in the windows. We have been in contact with Mr. Ridley as recently as last week regarding needed repairs to the structure. Our records do indicate that he applied for a permit in 1999. Notices of these proceedings were issued, and we have received confirmations from Mr. Ridley that they were received. In addition to the certified notice, a notice was posted on the structure.
Any questions of Ms. Selman? Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, we'll hear from Mr. Thomas Ridley then. Please come forward and tell us what your plans are for this property. Tell us your name and address again and your.
My
where you
name is
reside.
Thomas Ridley, address is 207 Wall Street. And I plan on remodeling the house.
Okay, have you taken a permit out currently?
No, sir, I sure haven't. I'm a low-income person, and I have to save up money to do work on the house.
Okay. In 1999, Thomas, you took a building permit out. What kind of work was done then?
I don't remember 1999, I don't remember, sir.
Okay. Well, any action that we take today will not be put into effect for 30 days following the vote. So if the vote was to condemn, it would be 30 days that you work with Chief Building Inspector Mike Scott or others in the department and to be able to demonstrate that you have the wherewithal to make the needed repairs to bring it into compliance with our code. So Mike Scott has very much an open door policy, and he'll work with you as well as Ms. Selman.
Well, look, do I need to get a lawyer for this, or what?
I cannot advise you on that. I'm not sure what the vote will be, but based on the vote, you'll have certain action that you can take. Okay? But one of the actions, if the vote is to condemn, then you have 30 days to demonstrate to Mr. Scott, the chief building official for the city of Hot Springs, that you're going to be able to proceed and make the necessary repairs to the structure to bring it into code. Okay? Thank you. Anyone else want to come and speak on this resolution? Any discussion amongst directors? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Director Weatherford,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Trusty,
Aye.
Director Holliday,
Aye.
Director Dobbs-Smith,
Aye.
Mayor McCabe.
Aye. Mr. Ridley, feel free to contact Mike Scott for the next course of action. This concludes the action items for this evening. At this time, we'll consider Board of Directors items for discussion. Do directors have any item for discussion?
I do.
Director Holliday.
I have to find my notes, sorry. One, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out to the Park Avenue Community Association block party. I know there were a couple of directors, the mayor showed up. They had hundreds of people there, and they raised over $2,500 towards the splash pad, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. And also I learned last night at the Neighborhood Association meeting that the community garden at the corner of Holly and Park, they have planted a pumpkin patch this year, and so they'll be selling pumpkins. We don't have a date on that. It's kind of whenever Mother Nature decides they're ripe. But as soon as I have more information, I'll share that date. But for anyone who buys pumpkins for Halloween, to keep that in mind, and you can go buy a locally grown pumpkin on Park Avenue soon.
Very good. And you're right, that function in Park Avenue was very well attended. It was, what was it, from like 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, or I mean 10 o'clock,
9 to 2, I
9 to
think.
2, 9 to 3?
I wasn't there the whole time.
Yeah, it was,
But it was great.
very well received. Of course, there were some good cinnamon rolls there and some jams, and plus a whole bunch of other items that you could purchase. So, and everybody seemed to have an enjoyable time for raising money for the splash pad, which I think will be a huge hit in that neighborhood. So, very, very good. This concludes. Oh, Director Weatherford.
I just wanted to say that I know we're in the middle of our paving program, and the state of Arkansas came in and did a matching. They gave us $300,000 to pave Lakeshore Drive, and I think it cost us like $58,000 for our part, which paved from Higdon Ferry to Jennison Square, and much needed repair there. It's a city street that's used by large trucks delivering to Sam's and stuff, and it takes a beating But they're finishing up this week probably. When I came in, they were finishing up some side work, so if you get a chance, drive down Lake George Drive. It's a nice drive now.
Very nice.
We just wanted to call out thanks to the state for that.
Any other items for discussion? Director Trustee.
Just a reminder, I think we've all been invited to the Garland County Leadership Prayer Breakfast. That'll be held October 4th over at Horner Hall at 6:20 a.m. Brian Smith, Vice President of Alliance Rubber, is going to be the keynote speaker that morning. Many of you know he was a professional baseball player for several years in the major leagues. So that's October 4th at 6:20.
Very good. Well, thank you. So this concludes our action for the evening, based on one guest here that she would like to address the board under the public commentary session. So we'll remain seated, and we'll take a few seconds to change the mic system over so we can be ready for your visit with us. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Director Weatherford, seconded by
Karen Garcia.
Director Dobbs-Smith. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Just give us a second.
Oh, man.